Hi guys, it's Orietta here, and I'm filming my January update. It's only 3 weeks since last time I filmed, and so I don't have a lot of progress, but I have some stuff to talk about. And I apologize for my appearance. I'm not at my best. I had a migraine this morning, and my back locked, so I can't move. And if I moan and groan when I move, I'm sorry. I just can't help it. So this month has been kind of short because, as I said in the last video, I traveled the first part of it. So and there was some stuff that happened, and I wanted to get ready for it. So it took a lot of time. Anyway, first thing I want to talk about is my work in progress, and I have a finish and I have a new start. So on World Travel Bookshelf, the only thing I did was finishing this column here. I had it just barely started in last video, and I work all the way to the end. And then this has been put away, and it's now out of the frame for the first time in months. And that's because I'm going to the UK next weekend for the Mad Hatter UK retreat. So I have to pack it, and so it came out. And I have to tell you, I forgot how big this thing is. And this is just folded, and that's the part I stitched, and it's huge. I'm not gonna open the whole thing because I need to get up, and I just can't do it right now. So that's it. Then I was waiting for my fabric to come from Chromatic Alchemy to start Trio Stitches by Abby Gordon that I bought at Bees Needleworks site. And I've ordered to Sam at Chromatic Alchemy a custom die that I wanted on Lugana 28 count, and I asked her to do a grass to sky piece so I could kind of put my tree in a kind of garden looking environment. So I started this on, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, the 14th of January, and I finished it. I finished it the 28th of January. So this is the whole piece. As you can see, it starts pale green at the bottom, and it goes all the way up and become pale blue with, and Sam was so good. She put, you know, clouds on it. I really love this piece. So I'm gonna try to get it closer to the camera so you can see it better. It's stitched with the DMC for the trunk, Fiberlicious thread in spun silk for the top of the tree, and I did the owl in Krennic. It's a dark silver, I'm sorry I forgot the number, and I put two yellow beads as the eyes. And let's see. And for the bunny, I used a rose gold Krennic with one thread of DMC, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this project. I think I have to do more specialty stitches work soon because it was really a lot of fun. And the color I used for the tree from Fiberlicious is the darkest one, that is like right here, and this part here is Autumn Woodland. The lighter green, like in here, it's a variation from green and orange, and it's a Bountiful Harvest. And the pale green to pale blue one is a Seahorse. And those are all spun silk by Fiberlicious. Okay. Then my idea was to work on that and keep working on World Travel Bookshelf, but then the Heaven and Heart official Facebook page challenge happened, and I wanted to join, and but it required to be done on with full crosses, and both my work in progress at the moment are 10 stitch, so I had a new start. And what I picked for my new start was Daisy Blue. It's a pattern by a painting by Joe Lynch, and I'm stitching it on 25 count pale blue Lugana, and I graded it with fishing line, and that's my progress. As you can see, I have the challenge done, so that was 10 block of 100 stitches in a diagonal, and I choose to do it this like checkerboard style, and I am just starting now to fill in the gaps, just because it's the only project I have on a frame at the moment, as everything else is packed away to take to Great Britain. So I started this, and while I was starting it, I had it wasn't planned, so I didn't really had all the floss for it, but I do have a big folder full of DMC that I bought from a stitcher online, and it came pre-cut on Lauren thread card that I didn't really like at the time, but as I had, this is quite a small project for an Heaven and Heart. As you can see, the gridded part, that's all it's gonna be. It's from here to here and down to here, so it's tiny thing. So I thought, well, maybe I can actually use that thread that I have had stored away and never looked after I realized it wasn't coming in a skein. And it was a real bargain, so I'm not complaining about it. So I said, okay, I need to try to use thread cards. And but I have always thought I wanted to try the Paco thread organizer, but I didn't have either the time or the money to purchase it for this project. So I have been thinking about it, and I come up with this idea. So what I did was I bought some heavy duty paper, like cardboard looking thing, and as everybody does, I punched all my hole here, and I put all my symbol. But then I went and bought a piece of that foam that the flower shop used to make their composition, and I cut a long stripe and covered it with fabric, and I secured it to the card in the middle with a few stitches. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling the thread from my cards, and it's really easy because you don't even need to take it off, you just pull it out one strand at a time. And when I have a floss left over from whatever I'm stitching, what I do, I just stitch it through this thing here, the like pincushion style thingy, and on a spot that correspond to the symbol and the color which it belonged to. So next time I need that color, I have my leftover strand right here ready to use. And I love this thing. I am going to convert all my work in progress to this system because it's so much faster than using bobbins, where you have to unwind, pull the strand, rewind, and then wind over the leftover whatever. And why I never tried it before. I was like shocked, and I'm loving this system, and everything is gonna become like this. In fact, I'm gonna make today another few of those cards, and I'm gonna take them with me at the retreat. So when I don't feel like stitching, I can actually convert all my thread for World Travel Bookshelf and for the Dragon Rip to this system, because it's just mind-blowing. Really, it's amazing. So, and it's really easy to make. It's just a little tricky to, you know, wrap the fabric around that foam thing, and the foam is kind of dusty, so you do need to cover it, but I'm telling you, this is incredible. So I might have, you know, discovered hot water as everybody has been using this system for a long time, but I think with this part in the middle really make a difference, and I thought I will share my idea with everybody. So that's that. And so another thing I want to talk about in this video, as I had to pull them all out because I'm bringing it to the UK for the retreat because people ask me to see, is my Heaven Heart finished I had before. So I thought, as I had to pull them out from their hiding, and I thought I would show you how they look like and make some consideration about them. So my first, sorry, I have to move this, I need to see my nose. Okay. And I need to turn page. Okay, so my first Heaven and Heart design was Peacock in Full Bloom by Anya Kai. And this was rocked to me by my dear friend Emma from Destructive Ernie YouTube channel. And she rocked it to me because I was so undecided. I was afraid that I never did anything this big and this complex, and I was still thinking and thinking and thinking. And I sent her a magazine I had from where I took one of my other finishes that I will show in some other day. That's not a Heaven and Heart design. And so she said, what if in exchange of your magazine I buy you the chart? Will you stop thinking about it and just start it? And she did, and I started. So this was started on the 24th of March 2013, and it was finished on the 14th of June 2014. So it took about a year and 3 months, more or less. This was stitched on 25 count Magic Guide fabric, and it was a learning progress. It was really, I used to be a cross-country stitcher. I would pick a color, stitch that color through the page, and then pick another color, stitch that color through the page, and so on. And I used to start stitching with the most used color, so then it would like kind of be a guide for the next color to be put in. And I realized that every page I would stitch, I would be left at the end with 2, 3, 4, 5,000 random confetti stitches all over the place. And I would get so fed up and bored trying to fill them up and find them and stitch them and then make sure I had them all. And I was just going crazy. So I started that way. I went about the first 3 pages that way, and then I decided I wanted to try parking, and it took me forever. I gave it up about 3 or 4 times, and finally somehow I was able to manage to learn and to cope with all the hanging thread. Now, as you've seen probably on my work in progress, I don't have any problem with hanging thread anymore because I have a mess of threads there. But so I changed my way of stitching halfway through. And one thing that I'm not sure you can see in the video, but I have some page line on this project. Let me find them. Yeah. Okay, like down here, it's really, you can't see in the video, but assure you it's there, and about here. And I wasn't too happy with it. And I realized I was looking on YouTube at parking video and stitching technique to use with this massive project. And I was already parking, but I was still finishing off my thread on the back, running at my thread underneath the other stitches I have done. Well, at some point I saw Ayesha, the veil stitcher video, where she showed her technique of the technique she used of starting and finishing from the front, leaving a tail. And I knew I was going to get a bigger frame. I was stitching on a Q-snap on this one, but I wanted to switch to a Millennium, and then I found the Quantum, but that's another story. Anyway, so I knew that with those massive frame, it would have been harder to keep flipping my work. So I wanted to learn to stitch on the front. And this was done all finishing off in the back. When I started world travel, I had the same problem. So I decided to try Ayesha method. And let me tell you, since I started stitching that way, so finishing my thread on the front, all my line, page line or column line, any kind of line, they all disappear. I never had any problem with that. I didn't have a big problem because you can barely notice it here. I know where they are, so I can see them, but it's hard to see. But I think that what caused the line is the difference in tension caused by all the thread you jam through the back to finish, especially in a heavy confetti area. And if you learn to do what I call the front tailing, you probably won't have any more line because the tails are secured on the back and you stitch on top of them, so they don't affect your tension because you adjust it to the amount of the thickness you have on your fabrics for all the tails. And no matter how thick the back is, the front always look perfect. So I encourage you to look at Ayesha video, and I'm gonna link it down below later, because it could save a lot of trouble. It breaks my heart to see projects stitched that had column and page line. It's you know, it's not worth it to have that result for all the work you put into a project like this. So check her out and try it. It's a little daunting at the beginning because besides dealing with all the long park thread, you're also dealing with the short tails on the front. But I think it's worth the effort. It really makes a huge difference. So the last thing I want to say about this finish is that I used DMC Magic Guide to stitch it on, and I love that fabric because it saved me a lot of trouble gridding, and now I'm a converted gridder all the way. But it was real hard to have those grid come out. They did, because you know, even if you look at the part that's not stitched, you can't see any line. It's perfectly white. But it was a huge effort to take them out. I was hand washing it, and I had a cooking thermometer, so I made sure the temperature was 40 degrees, exactly 40 degrees. I soak it, I let it there, sit there, I rub it until I got a blister on my hand, because I didn't realize that if you rub something that's pretty hot, you most likely get a blister. And those lines weren't coming out, and I replaced the water, I put it a little warmer, and most of them were out, but there was still a faint sign. So finally I just had enough, and I chucked it in the wash machine and washed it at 40 degrees, and that did it. The machine was probably going a little higher. So anyway, that plus all my rubbing and everything, they came out, and I'm very happy with the result. And I'm using Magic Guide for world travel bookshelf too. So I like the fabric. It's nice, it's soft, it's useful and make your life easier. But it was a hard job to take the line up out. And also with world travel bookshelf, it's a very long-term project. It's gonna take me a little 7-8 years to finish. I'm about a year and a half into it now. The stretch of fabric I have exposed on my frame is fading a lot, so it's getting hard to see the line. And the exposed part of the fabric has been exposed for so long, it's getting filthy. And so I think I decided that from now on I'm not going to use Magic Guide anymore. I rather make an effort grid with my fishing line, which I love. And so if the project get dirty, I can, give him a bath and the fishing line will be fine as long as I use lukewarm water and it won't come off. And it's just working out better for me. It takes a while to get it in. I usually grid one line of pages at a time, one row of pages at a time. So it doesn't take a huge amount of time, and some of my project, an entire row of pages will take me a year or so to finish. So, it's not that I'm gridding all the time. So I think from now on I will use that fabric. And I'm sorry, I know I'm a little all over the place, but it was just some information I wanted to put out there. So my second and last Heaven and Heart finish is it's a artwork called Tree Frog, and it's by Jo Lynch, and she has some very colorful art. The Daisy Blue I showed before is also one of her painting, and this is Tree Frog. I started it the 12th of February 2015 and I finished it on the 19th of November 2015. It's stitched on a piece of 25 count Lugana by Chromatic Alchemy in the color Radioactive, and when Sam first showed this color, I knew that was the color I wanted for my frog, and I think it came out really good. So I'm trying to show you better. Not very good at this, I'm still learning. Anyway, there it is. And this was gridded with sulky liver, which is great because as the monofilament fishing line, it doesn't split. My problem with it is that I use a magnified light to stitch with, and the sulcus liver have the tendency to not lay flat no matter how hard you try. So the twist would reflect the light and play tricks to my eyes. That's why I'm not going to use it anymore to grid, but I'm going to use fishing line, which is more like it's not shiny, so you see it really well, and it doesn't move around. It's flat. It's not flat, but it's round, so it's always the same, and I just like it better. Anyway, this is my second finish. It was a small project, so that's all. That's all I have for today, and I want to say again, thank you everybody for all the comment, like, subscribe, and everything. It's been a fun journey. I'm really happy I started making video, and I hope to see you soon again. So have fun stitching. Bye.